Who are the potential presidential nominees going to pick to be their VPs? This morning we have campaign expert Keisha Carter-Brown with Razor Solutions Group in Atlanta joining us live talking about this. Keisha, recently we've heard that Donald Trump may be leaning more toward House Speaker Newt Gingrich because, you know, Trump is the presumptive nominee. Who do you think would be a good VP pick for Trump?
Well, I think that we should get away from all of the politicians because we all know that Trump isn't one, and look at a couple of people that are a little bit more celebrity out there. And so I've got two in mind that I think would be great picks for him for vice presidential candidates.
Okay, give them to me. Who is the first one?
So first, you've got to have Stacey Dash. I mean, with her clueless background, I think that that would be perfect for her being vice president because she can continue to be clueless with a lot of the different statements that she's been saying. Also, she thinks that racism will be over if we just stop talking about it, and so that probably will go along with all the hate speak that we get from Trump all the time. So she would be my first pick. My second one would be Clint Eastwood because who better to help guard the building of the wall than Dirty Harry? So I think he would be a great possible vice presidential candidate pick for Donald Trump.
All right, having a little fun with this morning. So now we have to talk about the Democratic side. Who would be the vice presidential pick?
Yeah, so my favorite is Will Ferrell. I don't think there's a better person out there that could actually be a vice presidential candidate than Will Ferrell. He can be Ricky Bobby and get the NASCAR voters. He can be Anchorman and go hand to hand with Trump if necessary, with all of their funny innuendos that they can do. And then he could also be George W. Bush to help bring all those Republicans that don't want to support Trump over. So if Will Ferrell doesn't work out, then I want to bring back someone that's still really popular, and that would be Dave Chappelle. Because I think that if we had Dave Chappelle in the White House, he'd have to do the Chappelle Show from the Rose Garden live every week, and then make sure that we either get Paul Mooney or Charlie Murphy at our correspondence dinner. So at least it'd be a good time with any of those picks.
Well, this is just a hot mess. You know, some folks are already afraid of both presidential presumptive nominees at this point, and some people say, you know, we don't have any good candidates out there. So hopefully these won't be real vice presidential
You never know.
picks. But in this election, you never know. Let's go back to Trump real quick. A lot of folks are saying, you know, the media's coverage of Trump hasn't been fair at some points, or maybe we're just in Trump overload. What are your thoughts on that? Should the media be pulling back, or will we start to see the media pull back on how it approaches Trump?
Well, I think if Trump starts going a little bit more presidential, as they call it, I think there will be less to talk about. So he'll lose a little bit of his flair. I mean, you look at yesterday with him and Paul Ryan meeting, there wasn't a whole lot of splash to that. So it didn't get as much coverage as they probably would have wanted. So I think that in this case, he's got to remain controversial in order to keep up the media coverage throughout the rest of the campaign.
All right, Keisha Carter-Brown with Razor Solutions Group in Atlanta. Thanks so much for joining us. You can check her out at KeishaCarter.com.